YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Rico, and you're watching Rico Reacts. And today we have another reaction video, and this one is about Damian Lillard and Giannis. So the title is "They Should Have Never Let This Happen." So let's go ahead and get into this video.
You want to see something interesting? Here's a chart of every single teammate Giannis Antetokounmpo has played with in the NBA. That's every player in every season for the past 10 years. And they're all plotted based on how good they were in terms of box plus minus and win shares. Now, over the years, Giannis has played with a lot of guys. OJ Mayo, Jabari Parker, he played with Jason Terry for 2 seasons, kind of a weird overlap. But
man, Jabari could have been so much more.
Few seasons. Brooke Lopez, Eric Bledsoe, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. There's some good seasons in here by some good players, and Giannis has made the most of it. And then there's his new teammate, Damian Lillard, who will easily be the best player he's ever played with. The NBA's got a new super team, and right now, they're the favorites to win it all.
My first pick.
Do y'all think this is a super team? Like, for real? I mean, you have Giannis, you have Damian, and of course you have, Damian, and of course you have Chris Middleton. But do you really think this is a super team and Brooke Lopez? Y'all comment below, let me know.
Gonna be Damian Lillard.
Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. With football season upon us and basketball right around the corner, save yourself the time and hassle of looking for good tickets and killer deals with SeatGeek. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. And with over 70,000 events happening every single day on SeatGeek, they've got anything and everything you're looking for. I've been using SeatGeek for years to find the best deals on my Trailblazers tickets. It's fast, it's easy, and watching them lose far too many games is a whole lot easier knowing I got a great deal. On the SeatGeek app, you can check the status of each available ticket for any game. And with their rating system, you can quickly see which tickets are a good deal, the green ones, and which tickets are a bad deal, the red ones. SeatGeek is safe, it's easy, and it's a guaranteed way to get the best deal. The SeatGeek. I've seen some dark days. Days I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I saw my team rally their way to the conference finals for the first time in 2 decades, just to get swept and never return. I've had to watch the player that we passed up on turn into an all-time great, while
That's
the
crazy.
guy we picked couldn't even stay on the court. I watched Brandon Roy blossom into a star.
Brandon was such a good lefty.
Literally 50 games later due to injuries. This is enough to make a man go insane. And then, the chosen one. Our loyal king, the one glimmer of hope in a bleak and desolate franchise, just packs up and leaves to the Bucks, and we get stuck with DeAndre Ayton, a guy we aren't even gonna keep, a rookie, and a 7th grader. And I'm not even sure where the Bucks came from. The Blazers and the Heat were stuck in one of the weirdest, most drawn-out stalemates for the last 3 months. And out of nowhere, the Bucks came and picked him up for actually a reasonable price. And as sad as I am to see Dame go, I'm happy for the guy.
Right.
Despite everything he's given to the Blazers, the organization never quite put him in a position
Dame
to
gave him
win.
so many
The man
years,
has been in the
for real.
league for 11 seasons and has played with only 1 All-Star. And even that was nearly a decade
11
ago.
seasons
In fact,
is crazy. I didn't
Dame
realize
has
he'd
made
been with
7
the
All-NBA
Blazers for that
teams,
long.
a feat only 46 players throughout the history of the NBA have accomplished. And out of these players, only 13 of them never won a championship in the NBA. And these 13 players, whether active or retired, are all regarded in the same dismissive fashion. All-time greats who never won a ring. Only 4 of them are active today. Chris Paul, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Damian Lillard.
Wow.
All 4 of them have reached the same.
And this
point in
upcoming
their
season, I
careers.
think it's Chris
Don't be the
Paul's,
guy who
what,
had a stellar
19th
career
season?
with all
That's
the awards
crazy.
and achievements, but no championship.
It seems
to show
like just
for it.
yesterday it was his
And so
rookie
after 3
season,
months
for
of
real.
uncertainty, I think this is about the best case scenario not only for Lillard, but for Giannis and the Bucks. In fact, this trade was actually foreshadowed last season. During the 2023 All-Star Draft selection over every other All-Star reserve, Giannis picked Damian Lillard with his first pick. Back in 2022, Dame was asked who he would play with if he could choose any active player. His answer was Giannis. Fast forward 18 months, and they both got their wish. So now that he's on the Bucks, and they both got a teammate that far exceeds anyone else they've ever played with, how good is this duo, actually? We've seen countless pairs of superstars get hyped up with grand expectations just to fall short and achieve essentially nothing together. but if history has shown us anything, this duo is bound to do something great. In terms of box plus minus, there have only been 6 duos in the history of the NBA that were as good individually as Giannis and Dame are. And out of those 6 duos, 4 of them went on to win the NBA.
Comment below, do you think Damian is still in his prime? I mean, 11 seasons, that's a lot of seasons for real. I mean, I think he is still definitely an all-star player, but as far as like in his prime, I think he's on the other side of that. But he's still an elite player for sure.
Championship that season. The only duos that didn't were Harden and CP3 in 2018, who lost to the eventual champs in the conference finals, and Durant and Westbrook, who were 1 game away from making the finals. History has shown us that when 2 players of this caliber pair up, it usually results in a championship, or at worst, a game or 2 away from the finals. We're looking at potentially one of the best duos of the last few decades. Last season, Dame averaged 32 points, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds a game. Now, those aren't just historically great numbers.
All right, I'll take that back. I did not know he averaged that many points. That's crazy.
It's a stat line that only Michael Jordan, James Harden, and Luka Doncic have ever achieved in the history of the NBA.
That's
Even
crazy.
crazier, Dame did all of this on record high efficiency. And last season, Giannis put up 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. A stat line that
Giannis
hasn't
is
been
definitely a
achieved
dog.
since Wilt Chamberlain did it.
Straight
nearly
dog, for
60
real.
years ago. We all know just how dominant Giannis is, but I think spending the last decade in the shadow of arguably the greatest point guard ever has made Dame one of the most underrated stars in the league. Both of them are coming off of historically great seasons. We haven't seen a pair like this since KD joined Steph in the Warriors back in 2017. In fact, the last time in modern NBA history 2 volume scorers of this caliber paired up was never. Over the last 50 years, there hasn't been a single duo that averaged at least 30 points per game and then played together in the following season. Not Kevin Durant and James Harden, not Curry and Durant, not LeBron and Wade, not even Kobe and Shaq. But it's not just how dominant Giannis and Dame are, it's the fact that their games perfectly complement one another. Individually, defenses are forced to scheme against Dame and Giannis in polar opposite ways. But together, there's not a team in the league who has the defensive personnel to
Damian
cover
can
the
pull
deep
up
ball
from
and the
anywhere
pick
on
and
the
roll
court.
and the low post. Just think, every single attempt at creating a super...
Question though, do y'all think with Damian being the point now, do you think that pushes Giannis in the paint more? Like, do you think he'll still be around the perimeter on offense, or do you think they'll try to make him more of a post guy or somebody who catches it, somewhere like free throw line or somewhere close within that range instead of him catching it at the top of the perimeter and kind of making the plays? Because he pretty much was everything for the Bucks before. I mean, I know you had Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. He's a good player as well, but everything pretty much ran through Giannis. So now with a floor general like Dame, do you think he goes into the paint more and we don't really see him out as much? Because we don't need him to shoot, and I'm saying I'm a Bucks fan. I'm really a Lakers fan, but in this case, they don't need him to shoot the ball. So they really just need him to make layups, dunk. Really just need him to be active around the paint like he's always been. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Does this push him more into the paint and we see him less around the perimeter on offense? Or do you think they kind of use the same offense and they have Dame just play off of Giannis? Y'all let me know in the comments what you think.
Superstar tandem in recent years involves 2 players that usually have similar strengths and weaknesses. As good as Kyrie and Durant were, their games didn't complement one another.
Not at all.
And PG are great individually, but as a whole, their skill sets are far too similar to create a real dynamic offense. Most of the time, just taking turns on who's going to get the next possession. Even LeBron and AD are 2 oversized forwards who tend to play away from the basket and dominate possessions 1 turn at a time. For the exact opposite reason, this is why I think the duo of Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic works so well. Two completely different,
Crazy
but compatible
combination.
play styles. Aside from Murray, who isn't quite a superstar, and Jokic, the last time we saw a duo that was made up of two megastars with complementary skills and positions was
Honestly, the
2
NBA is
decades
going to be
ago
tough this
with
year.
Shaq and Kobe.
I mean,
Damian Lillard's
there's probably a
demand to be
good
traded wasn't some
5,
breach of
6
loyalty.
teams
It
that
was
you
an
could
attempt to
argue
regain control of his
have a
career
chance. And you know
earn
how
a
it
real
goes,
chance
like
at
with
winning,
injuries and
like many
everything.
others before him have
You
done.
never know
How
who
many
could
all-time
emerge,
greats put their
even with
loyalty first and
trades and
foremost
stuff during the
and paid the
season.
price
You never
because
know
of it?
what team
Guys
could
like Reggie Miller,
become the
Dominic
next
Wilkins, Patrick Ewing, generational
number one
talents
team
whose
in the
careers
league.
get lost in the shuffle because they never climbed to the top of the mountain. They never overcame the final obstacle and won an NBA championship. It's almost like all the all-star selections and big performances and playoff wins become an afterthought or some sort of relegated achievement because the ultimate goal was never achieved. Is it better to stay with one organization with hopes that things will eventually work out
Nah.
despite things never quite working out?
Nah.
Or after years of holding up your end of the deal, is it better to finally do what's best for you and put yourself in a position to win?
Definitely.
Well, the answer lies with the players who did put themselves first. In the mid-2000s, Kevin Garnett's incredible talents were being flushed down the drain in Minnesota, and so he said enough is enough and went to Boston, a move that changed the course of his career and legacy. If Kevin Durant never left OKC, we may not know him as a two-time champion and finals MVP, but rather another generational talent who could never quite get it done.
Right.
Even LeBron James all made the decision to leave the franchise that drafted them for an organization that actually gave them a chance at winning a title. Because loyalty and fans and accolades aside, above all, every player wants to lift that trophy above their head and be crowned a champion. Something that was never gonna happen.
That's
with
what it's
Dame
all
and
about,
Kobe.
for real.
So what do
Any
y'all
sport
think?
you're
Is
in,
this
like,
duo truly
you
the
want to win
favorites
it
to
all,
this
for
year's
real.
title? Or are we getting ahead of ourselves like we've done countless times before in the past? Are Dame and Giannis a real match made for winning? Or is this team going to be just another failed attempt at combining talents in hopes that it yields something great? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, until next time.
Wow. Okay. So that video really has some good points in there. They brought up some crazy facts. Like, there's some things in there I really had no clue that Damian was doing. Obviously I knew about Giannis because Giannis, he's a straight dog, and his team normally always makes it, at least pretty far in the playoffs. So I knew more about what he had going on than Dame, but Dame really has been killing it for years. So I hope he can win something with this team, but honestly speaking, I think the teams right now are just too stacked. I think they have a great chance, but there's so many teams out there right now that just keep building and keep building. Boston has a crazy roster right now. Denver, they still have their roster. They lost a couple of players, but they still have their solid core. So I don't know. It's gonna be tough. But it should be fun to watch the NBA this season, for real. I'm definitely excited about watching them play and watching these NBA games. But y'all let me know in the comments, who is your team? Let me know what you think about this new trade with the Bucks. Do you think this puts them over the top and they are now number one contenders? Or do you think they still need to do some things? They still have some work to do. Y'all let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until the next reaction video, I'll see y'all later. Peace.